Yeah. Let's see how this works. Let's see how this goes. The chitty chat died. The chitty chat died. So now we're doing this. Let me know how it looks. So if you're watching this on the rebroadcast, sorry for confusing you. Sorry for confusing you. We're going to be working on this now. Let's see what it looks like before we jump into it, really. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Is the chat working now? It looks like a thing. Oh my gosh. Whoa. What the hell? Dan, you're on your phone. Get off your phone in class. Whew. All right, so I got to make an announcement now. Go ahead and Scarlett, you make the announcement. There you go. Boom, boom. Thank you. Jeez. How's everybody doing? We lost a lot of people. We had like 60-something people in here, and then all of a sudden it went poo-poo. Let's go ahead and start sharing this everywhere. The beautiful thing about the internet is that so many different things can go wrong. I did everything right, and then YouTube's like, nah, dog. We're going to go ahead and shut your stuff off. Make sure you guys sign in. Let's see if my little buttons work. There you go. Speed limit with a $20 donation. Sorry about the lights. Forgot to pay the electric bill. Man, what you doing, man? What you doing? I gave you the money. Gave you the money to do it. There we go. There we go. We got it set up. There we go. Let's go ahead and... Man, the lights are... Let's go ahead and do this. There we go. I think I look a little good. There we go. Done. Probably spent more buying a Zambo. We need more likes. That's right. How's everybody doing? It's an early morning. Let me get some coffee. Whew. Let's get some... I don't look so crisp. Somebody was messing with this thing. There we go. You know what, crew? Let's go ahead and go to the crew lounge real quick. We're going to start this all over. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do that. Crew, come on now. Let's get in here. Let's grab some burritos. We had some technical difficulties. Pretty embarrassing for the first class of basically this week. What we're going to be doing is having multiple classes a week. You know, one second. What are you doing over here? You're making all this noise. Stop making so much noise. Jeez. All right, rookies. Calm down. Everyone else grab some burritos. We're going to have a class. I'm going to attempt 2 to 3 times a week, a 1-hour class. It's going to be called Riding Smart with Dan and the Fireman. We'll be utilizing a lot of the motorcycle training concepts, footage, and curriculum, and we're going to be focusing mainly on situational awareness, the fundamental skills. We're going to start adding in some gear reviews, and I'm hoping once this COVID stuff kind of ends, we're going to go ahead and get some rescue training, and then we're going to be doing some teaching and mentoring pretty dang soon. But we're going to be hosting this class for 1 hour, hopefully 1 hour to 2 hours, 3 times a week. And this is what's going to be happening, guys. So I can't wait to share with you all the cool things. We have a 99 Lives video that we're going to do a review on. We're going to go in and out. And we're only going to focus on a few things. We're going to focus on some of the common motorcycle crash factors or close call factors. We're going to focus mainly on speeding. We're going to focus mainly on ego. If they were in brown stage, so a panic, white stage, so they're zoned out, and then a few other common factors. And we're not going to spend 5 minutes per crash. We're only going to spend maybe 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes, I don't know, per crash. We got multiple crashes we're going to go over, and then we're going to go ahead and get some homework out to some of the crew members. Because here's the thing. It's not just about looking and seeing what's happening. I want you to go out and practice. We got 2 exercises that I want you to practice on. And if we host this thing 3 times a week, guess what? You got homework during the week, or the cool thing is save it for the weekend. So make sure you get your pen and paper. make sure you get ready. And if you miss out on today, let's say you're going to go ahead and leave because you want to get ready for football tomorrow. I don't know why you'd leave, but the thing is, if you want to leave, we will be rebroadcasting this without any of the chat interactions. So let's go ahead and get to class. You notice how Rainin and everybody's up there practicing. That's another thing. Crew, if you want to send in your parking lot practice, send it in. It's the same video submission form as the close calls and crashes. Just mark that it's parking lot practice, and we'll be showcasing you on the intro of your parking lot practice. Doesn't matter if you're good or not. I just want to see what you're doing. All right? All right, let's go get back to class. Jeez. Yeah. Uh-oh, Prodigal Stranger lost the smell. What did I see? Has the oh, no. Yeah, loss of smell is usually it's a common thing now with that. All right, looks like we got the chat going. Scooby, yeah. San Francisco, how you doing, Jim Sweet? Greetings from Germany. Happy third Advent. Do you call it the same way? Do you celebrate Advent? Like the Advent calendar? Maybe that's what you're talking. I don't know. Let me explain a little bit more. I probably do celebrate it. I love Christmas time, if that's what you're talking about. Whew. Gotta get ready. Gotta get ready. How are you allowed to have thick beards as a firefighter and required to be able to use a respirator? I get that all the time. And here's the thing. You must be new. I haven't been a career firefighter since May 2018. Okay, I was a firefighter for 11 years, career firefighter. Obviously didn't have a beard. As soon as I left the fire service, I told myself I would have a beard because for 11 years I couldn't have one. So that's where I'm at. And I utilized all the fire training, all the EMS, everything, and I add it to the motorcycle community to make sure motorcycle riders are safe. She's got mild symptoms and they caught it early. Good, man. Good. Greetings from Italy. How you doing? Jim Sweet, thanks, man. Yeah, this would not pass. No, it would not. I did have a mustache, so there's some older videos prior to May 2018 where you just see me with the mustache. That's right, Kilroy. I've always had it. I had to shave 5 times a day as a firefighter because it just kept growing back super quick. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into this. We have a timetable. We want to keep this at around an hour and a half. So remember, we're going to be focusing on speeding, lane positioning, ego, if ego is a factor in this, brown stage or white stage. Okay, that's what we're going to be focusing on. We're going to be focusing on what happened, and then I'll just give a quick tidbit of what we could do to prevent it. So we're going to be doing a 99 Lives video review. Then we got some homework for beginner exercise riders, and then we also have an intermediate exercise for those that feel like the beginner exercise is too easy. But if you want to, please do both. Okay, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday is the goal for all these classroom sessions. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is the goal to post up last week's session. So don't expect anything this next week coming up other than this video. And then we're going to have exercises every single live session, every single video. That way you can take them all together and do them on the weekend or do them that day yourself. And we're going to have a Q&A at the end of this. So if you have any questions, please ask. That's the goal, is we're trying to, focus on being safe, smart riders. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video right here. So remember, we're going to be focusing on speeding, positioning, ego, brown stage, or white stage. Okay. Oh. So this is going to be a traction loss on that white paint with too much revving, so too much power to that rear wheel.
Dude.
Yep.
I'm fine.
Good. I'm glad he's fine.
No, I can lift. I got it.
Oh, it's heavy.
It is heavy, yeah.
Just back it.
So right there, I'd be concerned about anybody in the roadway getting hit. But let's go ahead and focus on a few things, okay? So right here, let's go ahead and talk about speeding. I absolutely believe it was just too much throttle, little too much throttle going into that turn, especially with that rear tire going over that white line. So when we're exiting out of here, make sure we have good, smooth primary control, good, smooth throttle control going into it. So we're going to go up to about right here. So we're looking. So good positioning, good vision. So that's amazing. I think that is what you have to do. You do have that vehicle right, the vehicle right there. So maybe that's what he was concerned about when he was exiting the area. If you ever get in this position, you're like, I have to accelerate quick. Just go ahead and wait. Just wait a little bit. So what's going to happen here is as soon as that rear tire hit that paint, it's because we're going too fast with that throttle control, okay? So we went a little too fast, a little too hard. That rear tire is spinning. It's trying to grab traction. You're still going, but now we're also turning. And as soon as we hit that paint, lost traction. So a little too much throttle. So too much speed was going into there. I don't believe he was in white stage. It wasn't a brown stage thing. His ego wasn't causing any of these issues. It was just a little bit too much speed. And that's why you wear full gear just in case something like that happens, so it doesn't happen to you, so you don't get injured. But I'll try to prevent it by don't giving too much throttle. Okay, so let's go ahead and move past this one. Let's take a look at this next one. All right. So positioning, there it is, situational awareness. I think he knew it was there, just didn't do much about it. Oh, watch out for that pipe on that leg. Ooh. Steve Fleming, welcome. Welcome to the crew, baby. All right, so right here, we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about positioning.
Nah, just
All right, right here. So positioning is actually pretty dang good right here. We got a good line of sight. So remember, you always want to plan your ride. So position yourself for safety, locate hazards, adapt to those hazards, navigate the threats. So right now, it's just very busy. So I'd be in orange stage, so you're prepped and ready for anything. It looks like his hands are, so we're doing good. So I don't know if he sees it, but he kind of does. I mean, he has his horn. He's getting ready. He's announcing where he's going. So maybe ego could be playing into it. It's like, I got to get here. This is my spot. You need to stay. You need to stop. So the biggest problem here, though, is that path of travel violations happen no matter what if you honk your horn. So that side of the vehicle, always look for that pattern. Wherever the nose is pointed is where it's going. So if it's a vehicle to the side, you got to be very careful when it comes to that because they could be going in front of you. Now, hopefully these other cars are going to block it, but I'm not too concerned, or I'm not going to put the responsibility of them to stop them for me. So, let's go ahead and do this. There we go. So when we get to here, this is when we need to start doing a red stage maneuver. So a brown stage would typically be a panic. So a panic brake, nothing. So you literally just keep going. You don't do any type of evasive maneuver. And he tries to squeeze the brakes right there. He has his clutch in. So now we have a total stopping distance. We don't have enough. So if you're ever in this position, you're like, oh man, I don't have enough. You have to change what you're trying to do, okay? So if you change this red stage maneuver of braking because you don't have enough total stopping distance, what else could you do? You can go ahead and swerve. You can get yourself out of here. You can release those brakes and hopefully get around and through that. But overall, it's a bad situation. You need to look for the side of the vehicle and make sure that it is not going to be in your path. But if that's the case, you need to be able to swerve or brake in time. And if you can't wear gear, that could easily be a fractured tib, fib, femur, patella. Whew. Let's go ahead and watch the next one. All right, lane splitting brings its own risks like this. A merging issue, hit two vehicles over the ground. Ay. So hand, shoulder, hip, back, head, knees. Double check your body. Lane filtering brings its own risks, so it's all about risk management.
What the f are you doing? Use your f***ing mirror.
What happened?
He switched over.
Yeah, he had his blinker, but let's go back a little bit. I don't care too much about that stuff. Okay, so we're lane filtering. So now we need to talk about speeding and positioning on this. So when you lane filter, there are some pros and cons. Okay, there's also pros and cons for being in your lane. Okay, pro and con for lane filtering. So a pro would be that you go ahead and get in front of the queue, you get in front of everybody else. It also reduces congestion for everybody. A con is that you're going to have a possibility of a lane merger and you're going to hit them and you don't have a lot of escape paths. So there's that risk management. Okay, so now that we know that, maybe we should reduce speed, slow it down a little bit. So when we're going to go fast, we only have a couple options. We need to stop, and that's it. Okay, so if there's a lane merger, you can't swerve left or right because you have cars, and you can't accelerate to get out of something because that person's merging in front of you, so you have to stop. So in order for you to stop in time, you need to reduce your speed, especially if you're going to be lane filtering. So right here, we're going kind of fast for the traffic. Remember, you'd only want to go maybe 10 miles an hour over traffic. This looks like it's closer to 15 to 20. And that 5 to 10 more over doesn't sound like much, but when it comes to total stopping distance, it's a lot. So you need to slow it down a little bit more. Positioning, you can't do much. If your major concern is to be safe, right now we're safe. We're in a good spot. We're not going to get hit by anybody. But if your major concern is to get from point A to point B as fast as possible through lane filtering, then this is where a problem can be. So ego, when you're lane filtering, just because you're on a motorcycle, don't worry too much about, hey, you know, I got to get to the front. I got to get to the front. You should be worried about your safety. Speeding can also be a direct result of your ego telling you to get from point A to point B. So keep that in check. Your positioning, just realize, you know, you can get out of lane filtering. You don't have to lane filter all the way to the front. You can stop right here and you should be safe because we're too concerned about getting rear-ended. That's what lane filtering will be a pro for. Brown stage, he didn't react in time. So I don't think that's going to be the biggest problem. White stage, maybe he just didn't see it. So right here, oh, so he perceived it and we're about to react. So right here, if we can't stop in time or we can't escape into an escape path, we're in a bad spot. This is a very common thing when it comes to lane filtering, so pay attention to this. So now you notice how he hit both hands, he hit his legs, he hit his whole body. So if you do get in a crash, wear full gear. That's what I'd be doing in that situation. They're listening to the teacher, Scarlett. That's what's happening. They're just listening to the teacher. You know, you guys need to be paying attention to the... Hey, pay attention up front. All right? Make sure you guys sign in to get credit for today's class. We're going to be going over some more of these crashes real soon.
Use your fucking mirror.
What happened?
He switched over.
Yep. And that's a very common thing when it comes to motorcycle crashes and lane filtering, so be very careful with that. All right, so now we're out on the track. This is the area you want to practice in. I don't think there was a problem with brown stage or white stage. They're very zoned in. We've already seen this. He gets checked up on by the track official. I don't think it was ego. They were out on the track trying to get better. Speeding maybe, positioning maybe, but that's the whole point of this. You know, you make mistakes out on the track, you'll learn from it, do better and better and better, versus out on the street where now you have legal consequences, civil consequences. You're probably injured, dead, hurt somebody else. This is where you want to do it right here. We already talked about this one. Ribs and left arm got all the impact. He seems to be doing well. I got carried to Tracks Infirmary for the x-ray. So that's the area you do want to do it. Okay, you want to practice out there on the track. All right, so we're out at night. Low visibility for something at night. See the brake lights? Ooh, illegal U-turn. Oh. Okay, so we're going to talk real quick about vehicles. Oh, it's a roundabout. Uh-oh. We're going to talk about positioning. Maybe a little ego on this one. So we're coming up to the roundabout. It looks like they were going to turn right. Okay, so this is actually a roundabout. So he's going around the roundabout. Should have stopped. Didn't stop. But here's the thing. We're going to be speeding into a dangerous zone. We're going to speeding right next to the vehicle because we want to go from point A to point B as fast as possible, not as safe as possible. Whenever you see a vehicle and they have brake lights, that means they're making a decision to go left, go right, or just stop. And they don't know what to do. They're obviously not going forward. So whenever you see brake lights, that should put you into orange stage where you're concerned about, oh, okay, something different's happening here. So I'm going to go ahead and sit back and relax. And what you could do and practice that is go to a restaurant and sit back and relax and watch everything happen. You'll realize everything's happening. And then you can go ahead and figure out, okay, that person's doing this person's doing this. But you're sitting back and watching outside of it. You're you're distant from the whole situation. So right here, when you see this, you want to stay as distant and disconnected from the situation and just wait. It's like, whoa, brake lights. Okay, I'm going to wait a little bit instead of gunning it and trying to get in front because they're still making a decision. Just wait. And if they sit there and stop in the middle of the street, there might be a good reason. There could be something in front of them and they can't go anywhere, or they're just being dum-dums on their phone. Either way, you don't know until you go around them, but you need to kind of wait a little bit. Give it a couple seconds if you have to and look, okay, what are you doing? Okay, well, I'm going to go. And that's how you should treat it. So ego could easily play into that. He tried to do some form of red stage swerve. It was just way too late, way too close. You should be able to be back here where this person is. But speeding, positioning, ego, brown stage, white stage, I absolutely believe it was ego and maybe a little bit of speeding. Whose fault was it? It was definitely the car's fault. It was the car's fault. All right. So we're going through the mountains. Okay, careful, careful. Chevrons indicate. What do you think that was? Do you think it was speeding, positioning, ego, brown stage, or was he in white stage during this whole thing?
Nobody fucking saw that.
We did. We saw it. Hopefully your bike's okay. Hopefully the bike's okay. All right, so we're going to be riding right here. We're going 75, okay? 75 miles an hour. I'm going to assume it's 75 miles an hour. And we're going to go into the corner. So why are we going so fast? Because we're having a great time and we're letting our endorphins, we're letting all the feel-good hormones take over our decision-making. So I have a feeling a little bit of ego, okay, just like having a little bit of road rage, your anger takes over your actions. That can start putting you down a wrong path. Same thing with this, where you're having such a great time, you don't think about what's coming up next. So that's going to play into your speeding, your positioning, whether you're paying attention, and whether you're going to make a good action when it comes to a brown stage or red stage maneuver, okay? So ego is a huge thing. It plays into a lot of the other factors. It's 80. So we just saw that was a sharp turn ahead. Too fast for the curve is what 99 Live said. We have those chevrons. Those are good indicators. So too fast, a little bit too fast for this corner. So speeding is definitely going to be the cause of one of these things, a common factor. Same thing with positioning. You know, positioning it seems to be okay. So I'll give them that. I like doing middle. Ego played into it. White stage, wasn't paying attention to how sharp the curve was. We have all these signage, and then brown stage last second, we're applying too much brake, and we start to swivel and wobble a little bit. You'll see it right there. There's the swivel and wobble. That's that rear tire lockup, so not good progressive brake pressure. Now we're going towards the edge. Now we're not in a good position. So it all kind of stemmed from ego. So how do we prevent this ourselves? We need to go ahead and keep our ego in check. Just enjoy. Look, it's probably the morning. Enjoy it. You know, look at the beautiful scenery real quick in your peripherals and keep going on with your day. Nice, smooth. Focus on the ride itself. Don't focus on going too fast to the ride. Speeding kind of plays into that. Okay, if you haven't been into this area, slow it down a little bit. It's always easier to add speed than to take it away in the middle of a turn. Positioning, just do middle. It'll be a little bit easier for that. And then make sure you stay zoned into yellow stage so you know what's coming up. And if you have to on a curve, go into orange stage because curves are dangerous. I mean, just look at it. Thankfully, he was able to slow down enough to where he didn't go off the cliff. So that's what I'd be focused on, is your ego, your speeding, and then your positioning will come into play, but your speed is a huge factor. And make sure you're zoned in, guys.
Let's go.
What do you think's happening here? Ego? Oh, shit. High mechanism of injury. That was not his bike either. Oh, baby. High mechanism of injury hitting that curb. Easily shatter things. So let's go back just a little bit. So right here, what do you think's the problem? Ego. Okay, one of the things that really sets ego up for you for failure is I can't even speak this morning. Anybody put something in my coffee? The thing with ego, it's usually like a peer pressure or a group ride setting or a road rage. Ego, I like to think of as your emotion taking over your logical side of your brain. So when you have a big group ride like this is quite easily an ego thing. Okay, we're showing off. Okay, we typically can do good risk management when we are in a situation by ourselves. We're like, I don't know if I should jump off that cliff into that water. That water doesn't look like it's deep enough for this height. I'm not going to do it. That's risk management. Same thing here. I don't know if I have enough room for my wheelie, but I'm going to do it because this is where everybody's parked and I want to look cool. So that right there, it's going to override your logical thinking. So a little bit too fast. He was also doing the wheelie, and it all started from an ego thing. So speeding definitely was a problem. Where you're going to do it, the positioning of it all is the problem. Ego, group ride setting, keep that in check, guys. You know, surround yourself with some people that aren't like this, or not that are not like this, as in that will promote good safety. You can be around people like this all day if you want. It's up to you. I don't think there's a brown or red stage or white stage at all. Crash, crash, crash. Woo. Hitting that curb easily shatter his body, but I'm glad he's able to walk away.
Let's go right.
All right, so they're on comm system. Oh.
I didn't know you were turning.
I said it like 5 times, bro.
Yep.
Go right.
Yep. So, not riding your own ride, maybe white staged. What do you think, guys?
I didn't know you were turning.
I said it like 5 times, bro.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah. Thankfully, they're okay.
I didn't know you were turning. That was my bad.
Oh.
Oh.
Easy way to damage your bikes.
Crashed, I guess. My bad.
I said it like 5 times.
Oh, your mic didn't pick it up.
Yeah, sometimes the mics don't pick it up. I have to speak, you know, I have to project my voice when it comes to some of the mics, but if you need a Bluetooth system, grab yourself a Cardo Pack Talk or a Cardo Freecom. They're a sponsor of this channel. Use the link in the description or in the chat. You get a discount automatically applied. All right, so we're going to be right here. So this is a group ride, so we can talk about ego on group rides, but it doesn't seem like ego is a big problem here. Speeding definitely wasn't really a problem when we were coming up to a stoplight. Positioning might have been a problem. I truly believe this is a white stage thing, okay? So the guy in the back didn't pay attention enough. He says, well, he said, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but maybe not. He said that the mic didn't pick up the audio for it, but I think it did. I think he was just not paying attention. So we're going to be moving forward right here. So right-hand turn, he's on the outside. The other rider's going to come on the inside. And this is why you stay staggered. But on the turn, you can kind of come up to each other and do a nice little turn together if you really wanted to. But that's why having that communication system is so important. So he did say, I'm going to turn right. Let's go ahead and listen to that.
Let's go right.
Let's go right. So if you remember, you want to project your voice. You want the mic to actually pick it up. It does have a noise gate on the mic, so it doesn't pick up all that wind. So you have to speak a little bit louder than the wind noise going on in your mic. So that might be the problem. So there's the impact. Thankfully, it was at a low speed, but at a high speed, imagine that type of impact. The positioning could have been a little bit better. Maybe, you know, next to each other, at least coming up to the stop sign and able to confirm which way we're going. But you shouldn't really have to if you have that mic system going on, that Bluetooth Cardo system going on. So I have a feeling the rider out in the back right here was white stage. Maybe heard it, but then didn't act on it. So inattentional blindness could have been part of that. He's focused on this. The brain shut off the ears for a quick second. Who knows? Can't really tell. But
I didn't know you were turning.
easily could have been prevented with good communication and staying zoned in. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. What do you think is going to be this one? Speed? I think speed. Oh, oh. Oh. Somebody else crashed? That can easily lacerate you. Looks like his knee got hit on the rail, and somebody else crashed. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one's gonna be interesting. What do you guys think is gonna be this one? Okay, so remember we have speeding, positioning, Ego, brown stage. So brown stage action time but panicked, and we also have white stage completely unaware, unprepared, zoned out. Okay, so what do you guys think is going to be this one? Why did we go so wide? You know, this is a 2-lane road. We went from the inside of the first lane to the outside of the second lane and then hits the guardrail. If you know how to turn, you shouldn't have this problem. But if you know how to turn, it's because you're probably doing slow look, press, and roll. So slow it down. So right here, he's not slow look, pressing, and rolling. He's speeding up, looking, pressing, and then rolling on more. That's going to be a huge problem because if we go too fast for our skill, we start going wide, 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 wide. We need more room, and we don't. Okay, so you need to go ahead and slow down before the turn, before entering it. Then you do your SLPR, so look, press, and roll. And then you can always add more speed later. Okay, you can always add it later. There's no rush to get to the corner. There's a rush to get out of the corner. Okay, so don't rush to get to the corner. Positioning, I mean, he had good positioning until he started going wide. Maybe ego because it is a group ride. Somebody else crashed, so we're just trying to show off. Maybe get in front of the pack. Maybe we were past everybody before the corner. I don't know, but definitely speed is a big problem. Maybe ego's a problem. This was more of a brown stage. You need to go into that red stage. You need to do more and more counter steering, and then you get to a point where it's like, okay, I can't do more counter steering or I lose traction. So then you got to get a lot more body positioning. You need to learn trail braking if you're going to be doing these speeds. So you don't need an advanced skill to handle this turn unless you want to do some advanced speeding. Okay. Those guardrails, very sharp. The lip of the guardrail is very sharp. Be very concerned about that. What's up, Jesse? How you doing? So right there, that's a piece of metal. That is very dangerous to hit. That lip right there, very sharp. So if your arm goes over it, it can easily lacerate your brachial artery. And then those pieces of wood, those things are like 80 pounds each. Those things are hard to break and heavy. So they're not moving. They're not moving. So his right knee, I want to go back to that just real quick. I just want to showcase why you need to wear full gear, which, by the way, guys, we are giving away gear to, not today, this month in December. We're doing it every single month. We are giving away $800 worth of RevZilla gift cards. We're actually going to do more and more and more in 2021. So take a look at his right leg. So that's the area that impacted to the guardrail, completely ripped up his jeans. Now, it's not, hey, we're going to rip up the jeans. It's, hey, we're going to do blunt force trauma to those jeans and your knee, and it just so happens to rip. So imagine your knee. Imagine your flesh. So this is why you need to wear gear. We are giving it away. $800 worth of RevZilla gift cards. Check it out. Links in the description. Yeah, just slow down. And then target fixated on his buddy on the ground. Also crashed. It's not good, guys. Not good. Not good. Yeah, that is a good sign, Cope. Leg is still attached. All right, ego. High risk, high skill. But let's minimize the amount of risk we have by wearing full gear. Smart Rider principle, guys. Acquire and utilize personal protective equipment. So minimize the risk associated by wearing full gear and doing it in an area that is safer to do so. So no traffic. Looks like there's no traffic, so did good. This is a lot of traffic. Oh, passing on a blind turn. Now we low-sided because we're hauling butt. What do you think? Ego? Speeding? Positioning? I don't think we were doing what we were supposed to be doing. Some knee scratches. Thankfully. All right, what do you think is going to happen here? We're going 63. We were going 63. Looks like somebody went wide in a turn. What do you think happened, guys? Class, what do you think happened?
1, 2, 3.
Definitely what? Do you think it's speeding? Do you think ego might have drove the speeding? Do you think white stage wasn't paying attention? Do you think brown stage that they were paying attention, something bad happened, they panicked?
Are you okay?
What do you think happened? What do you think happened? Let's go back just a little bit. So just take a look at this. Where did the crashes typically happen? Like towards the very last 3/4 of the turn, right? Typically happens there. All the above, Jim Sweet, you think ego, dirty, rode above their level? not riding their own ride. So what we talk about when it comes to riding above their level or riding below their level, what we have in EMS and basically anywhere, I don't think EMS created it, but it's called scope of practice, okay? So scope of practice, think of it as parentheses. Inside the parentheses is your skill, okay? Anything before and after the parentheses is out of your skill level. Okay, so if your skill level keeps traveling up and you get better and better and better, the parentheses keep moving. So then now there's more and more and more skill, more things that are below your skill level, which is fine. So that's good. And your parentheses can actually increase too. So if you start to work outside of that, if you start to go above and you start creeping past, that's when you start getting in trouble. So scope of practice. So for an EMS, it'd be like me as an EMT doing a crike, or me giving medications. It's out of my skill. I wasn't trained to do it, but I'm doing it. That's not good. So if you're in this situation and you're going to speed around this corner and this is too much speed for what you can handle that you haven't done yet, then you're going to have a big problem because now you can't handle the situation. Okay, it's outside your scope. It's outside of your skill base. So when we see this right here, maybe this was outside of his skill base, but it wasn't outside of his skill base, and it wasn't outside of the camera guy's skill base and everybody else's skill base. It was just outside of his skill base. And that's a big problem when it comes to riding in groups, that a lot of beginner riders want to ride in a group because they want that camaraderie, they want that community. But now we're in the wrong group, or the group doesn't understand or know that this is a beginner rider. Who knows? Maybe he said, hey, I'm good. I've been riding for a while. Let's go have some fun. And then something like this happens. He's like, well, this is my first group ride. So you start to have issues like that. So ego could easily be a problem with that. Speeding, okay, maybe too much for him. Maybe positioning, it wasn't right for him. Brown stage, white stage, I don't know. But I want to take this as an example of a possible ego group ride, peer pressure. Be honest with yourself, be humble, know what you can do, and don't go outside of your skill base, outside of your scope of practice, okay? That's exactly it, Mustafa. Not aware of their own limits. How do you guys become aware of your own limits? You go to a parking lot, you go and take this road easy by yourself or with somebody else that understands that you are a beginner, so we're going to modulate our speed, mitigate it for you. So having a good mentor would be good. Yeah. That'd be good stuff.
Watch out.
Great job, class. Thank you for all the help.
Okay,
Remember, we're going over the white, yellow, orange, red, brown stage stuff.
Are you okay?
Pay attention, guys. Pay attention. All right. So we're riding through traffic. We see a lot of people backed up.
Oh, yeah.
Good braking on the rider in the back. So this is where you rescue another rider with medical training. Seems like they're doing okay. Okay. So why do you think that happened? That car, hey, Santerre. Thank you for the donation. Why do you think that person crashed? Okay, just take a look at right here. So we have multiple people kind of backed up. We have one person on the ground. Maybe it was a passenger of the guy that is standing right here. I don't know yet. But I have a feeling that this vehicle right there kind of caused it when he wanted to turn into this area. Okay, so how is it his fault, though, that we crashed into the back of him? Santerre, thank you for the donation. How is it that red car's fault that we crashed in the back of him? That red car wanted to turn into an area. How did we crash into them? Okay, a lot of motorcyclists think it's cars that strike them that is the cause of a lot of accidents. It's actually motorcyclists striking the car or striking a fixed object that is causing a lot of the crashes. Not causing, but is what's happening in the crashes. What's causing a lot of it is a left turner turning in front of us, we strike. Right here, not paying attention, we strike the backside of the vehicle. So that's really what a lot of it is. And then the cornering, the fixed object, we strike the guardrail. A lot of the problems is that we strike something. So right here, why do you think this person struck the red car? Okay, I believe it was white staged, zoned out. Okay, when you're white staged, it's not just about not paying attention to things, but it's also not paying attention to the skills that you need to do. So you need to maintain that space cushion. You do need to keep looking for escape paths, and you need to know what stopping distance you have because you need to be able to stop in that time. And then also vision. Okay, so you see brake lights, and you see that there's an intersection or a business that that person wants to get into, or maybe wants to get into. You don't know yet. If there's brake lights before that intersection, they're probably turning. They're probably stopping because somebody's in the intersection. There's probably a reason. So we need to pay attention. We need to see around this vehicle to see what they see. We also need our own escape paths and space cushions. So I have a feeling these people are white zoned. They're not paying attention. They're not paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
So, class, in order to stay out of white stage, what should we be doing? Okay, I know. Hey, you. Yep. Yellow stage. Relaxed, prepared, aware, though. Okay, so you're zoned in. Good situational awareness. You ever feel that flow state that you have when you're riding, and all of a sudden everything just works out great, and you're like, man, I see everything. Like when you're playing video games, you're like, you're in the zone. Like you're that flow state. That's what I want you to stay in. When you get out of it and you're like, hey, what did I eat earlier? What did I eat yesterday? Well, what did that text message? That's when you start to zone out. That's what you need to zone out. You need to zone that stuff out. You need to zone in. Keep your eyes moving. So Cecil, exactly. So what I like to do is look to my mirror to the left, look to my mirror to the right, do quick head checks, kind of keep my mind awake. I do that in the car. I have like this triangle system that I use in the car. I look at the left mirror, I look at the right mirror, I look at the rear mirror, I look at my blind spots. I'm constantly putting myself and orienting myself in space and time so that if I ever had to do something, I move. And I'm always constantly moving positions, looking around the vehicle in front of me, have a nice space cushion, constantly be doing that. Love your group, Kilroy. Awesome. That is way too close. If somebody applies the brakes, somebody's gonna hit them. That's just way too close. There's not enough room for error. You have to anticipate that there's gonna be some error involved. And with that, you should space it. Okay, so this is the exact reason why we need that space. Because if one person crashes, the second person might not, but the third person might crash into that person, and it'll just cascade into craziness. Okay, so right here, exactly it. What do you think's gonna be the problem here? Positioning. They're not going super fast. I don't think they have a huge ego. I don't think there was any brown stage. I think they all did red stage maneuvers, but there's just not enough time because their space cushion wasn't good enough. So positioning, it goes back to that. White stage, I don't think anybody was not paying attention. I think they're all paying attention pretty dang well, but they were focused on just being so close. Now, that could be a lack of education, or it just could be a culture thing of let's stay close, this is fun. So it could be ego. It's mostly positioning, okay? Not enough space cushion, no escape paths, and poor vision. So look at this. Just nothing. One person crashes. Now it's just like a cascade. It's just a cascade. And that wouldn't happen if there was a bigger space cushion and people were zoned in and understood how to move around, if you're staggered. What's up, Firefly? How you doing? Everybody, the goal is to have a class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you like that, make sure you hit that join button. Oh, what do you think's gonna happen here? Speeding? Oh. Oh, no. Whoa, class. Whoa. Whoa. Did you guys see that? All right, we're going to kind of go a little bit into this. We're going 140. I'm going to say kilometers an hour. Somebody in the chat write how fast that is in miles per hour for us Americans. So we're going to be riding. And the rider up front didn't find the escape path. Okay, speed is definitely going to be a problem. Positioning is the problem too. Ego is a problem. I believe they are zoned into yellow stage. I truly believe it. It's just that they're riding outside their skill level. I think the skill level is the problem. So this rider right here found the escape path as best as he possibly could. This rider, that blur, actually goes over the median. He hits this vehicle, goes over the median. His bike stays balanced because of gyroscopic forces. And that's a very severe mechanism of injury. So 80 to 90 miles per hour, you believe, Dinah. Thank you. Very bad. Very bad. We could probably assume it's miles per hour, 140. We're going to hit the back of this vehicle and go off, but take a look. See, the bike wants to stay up. The bike wants to stay up. Let's go back just a little bit so you guys can see. Look at how this motorcycle rider finds the escape path. Found the escape path and moved. Can you do this? Let's not say you're going 140. Let's say you're going 80 interstate speeds and somebody slams the brakes. Could you have done that? So just take a look. I want to take what's good. Look how much little room he needs. Let's go ahead and do this again. Look how much room he needs. Just this little median area. This little gore area. That's it. So if you absolutely had to, you can find an escape path between a vehicle and the guardrail. So don't assume that you have to slam the brakes every single time somebody does this and you have to stop in time. If you can't stop in time based off your speed and based off your skill level, at least try to find this. At least try to find this little gap. Okay? You could do that. Now, don't put yourself in that situation in the first place. 140. Don't put yourself in that situation. That's probably 140 miles per hour. I have a feeling that is. Don't put yourself in this situation in the first place. That's where he landed. He's on the other side. Guess what? Look at all the traffic coming. Do you think they're going to have enough time to react? So even if he survived that, I don't think these cars have enough time to react and stop before hitting him. So you have that secondary trauma. You can even see, I just want to point out real quick, you can see the vehicle right here swerve. Look at that vehicle swerve out of the way. They're trying so hard not to hit that person. He's already swerving. Oh, hopefully he swerved out of the way. You see US plates? Oh, no, that probably is 140 miles an hour. Yeah. What is that? I couldn't see the sign. Stop looking back. That's too blurry. Oh, yeah. Nighttime riding? How come we're... Yeah, street racing. So ego and speeding, do you think that's going to be a problem? That dude on scooters racing? Oh, he's at the finish line, I think. Oh, no. What do you think? Speeding? Ego? Probably. Lost traction? Yeah, Scarlett. Oh. So that was 99 lives, everybody. 99 lives. Now, we went over quite a bit of these crashes and close calls. Okay, we went over quite a bit. And we start to see a lot of it is the speeding, positioning, but a ton of it is ego. So if you're a brand new rider and we just saw all these and you just want to watch this class one time, here's the thing I want you to take away from this class. Check your ego. Okay, don't go into that Dunning-Kruger effect where you believe you're better than you really are. Always check yourself, honestly, before you wreck yourself. It's a saying for a reason. So reduce that ego. If you feel like, hey, I could do that, really look at it and be like, have I practiced that? If it's a no, that means you can't do it. Okay, practice first. This is not an area where we have let's load the last checkpoint. Let's load the last save game. Hey, let's restart the game on easy because I can't handle it. No. You have one chance. If you crash, you can get severely injured or die or have a life-altering injury. Let's not do that. So if you're a brand new rider, at least check your ego. From there, you can start working on your speed. From there, you can work on your positioning and your situation awareness right there. That's what you can work on, okay? All right. We do have some homework. We do have a beginner exercise that we're going to be going over. We also have an intermediate exercise. Also, if you guys want to, send in your own motorcycle training and close calls. So there is a submission form that you can use. I did add a spot on it for the parking lot exercises, or a close call. For those of you that want to send in your parking lot exercises, that will possibly be the intro to the classroom. We're not done yet. It'll be the intro to the actual class, like at the beginning of today. And then if you just want me to go over some close calls and stuff of yours, we will at the end of class. We'll go over some of them. Okay? All right, let's go to the lounge real quick. I got to say something to the crew members. Yeah. Let's go ahead and plug this in. Who keeps chewing on this thing? Crew members, grab yourself a burrito. Don't eat too much. We're going to go work out after this, okay? We're going to go to my office first to have a nice Q&A, but then we're going to work out, do some push-ups, do some squats. You know, if you want to, go ahead and start doing some now. Whew. Saturday morning, guys. If you want to join the best damn online motorcycle community in the world, click that join button. There's some of that parking lot practice we're talking about, so if you want to send in some of those, please do so. I'll be putting those in the intro. I just want to see you do some practice. If you don't know what to practice, go to Motorcycle Training Concepts, that YouTube channel that I'm going to be posting so much more pretty soon, and it's going to basically be the encyclopedia of motorcycle exercises. So you're like, hey, how do I do my U-turn? Boom, U-turn. How to do my figure eight? Boom, figure eight. What is the bootlace practice maneuver situation, the obstacle course? Boom, you got it there. I got all that stuff. I got all that stuff on the second channel. I'll be posting more and more and more. Let's get back to class and talk about some of these exercises that we need to get done. Yeah, somebody was chewing on this thing. Come on now. All right. So what we have here is that we're going to go ahead, take a look at this. Now, this is on the second channel. Okay, this is on the second channel. So this is for beginners. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause this real quick. This is for beginners right here. So we're only going to watch about 2 to 3 minutes. So this is where I want you to take your notes. Okay, if you're a beginner rider, I want you to go out and practice this today or this weekend. Okay?
All right, now that we have everything set up, I want to show you real quick what we're working with. We're going to utilize 1 parking space out of the 3 that we're going to be using for the figure eights and U-turns and whatnot. So right here, if you don't have the actual lines, what I'm having here also is the cones. So I'm going to have 2 cones dictating this is where I'm going to park the bike. And I'm going to have 3 cones dictating where the end is, where my goal is to.
It's a tight turn from a stop.
Is to stay inside here. So if you want to know, it's just about, for me, 1, 2, 3. I would say about 3 steps for you also, if you want to just measure it that way. And what we're going to do is try to make it through here and go that way. This is my tripod right here, and this is where you would put your action camera or your phone.
If you have any questions, we will be going over those.
So let's go ahead and jump into this one. You don't need the drone up there. That's just to show you guys a little bit extra. So tight turn from the stop is literally tight turn from the stop. So you need to start the handlebars already turned. So when you do that, you're going to feel the weight go to this foot or this side, wherever the handlebars are turned. So what you need to do is counterweight and utilize your upper body to do that. So turn the handlebars, counterweight, and you know
that's a good tip right there.
Camera, I want you guys to use that as a clue or a cue. That's where your head should go. Whew, it's a little hot.
It was hot that day.
Go ahead and put it into first gear. So then we're going to utilize friction zone and throttle control. So once again, we're going to go ahead and look.
If you don't know how to do throttle control, there's more videos on that.
This friction zone and give it a little bit of throttle. So let's go ahead and do the first one.
Class, be quiet.
Now, it's okay to put your foot down. It's okay to struggle a little bit, and it's okay to the handlebars to move. Remember, we're not looking for perfection.
So right there, that is the tight turn from a stop. So if we look at this part right here, skills in use, head turn vision, full lock handlebar turn, counterweight balance, friction, throttle control. We talk about that all the time when it comes to starting, obviously, from a stop. But that one rider that crashed leaving the parking lot, that right there. So he did his head turn and vision. You need to turn those handlebars. You don't have to do a full lock if you don't want to, but at least get something going. And then also the counterweight. That is the biggest thing. Counterweight. Make sure you get that weight on the outside and do good, proper, smooth throttle control friction zone. If you don't know how to do friction zone, I do have that video on Motorcycle Training Concepts. This video is actually on Motorcycle Training Concepts, but I want you to practice your tight turns from the stop. That's really going to help you with your head turns, and then also the handlebars, counterweighting, and throttle control. It's a lot harder to do that than to just go straight with throttle and friction zone. So practice that this weekend. We got another video that we're going to be talking about. Now, this is for those intermediate riders. Okay, we got another one right here. It's for those intermediate riders. If you need to know which videos these are, we will have them in the description of this video, and then we're also going to have them on the rebroadcast. Okay, so hey, class, quiet. I want you guys to practice this one too. Okay.
All right, so like I said, this is for those of you that like to have instinctual riding, or if you've gotten to the point where you're feeling super comfortable with your tight turns, U-turns, figure eights, and you're just
So
bored.
intermediate stuff.
You want to do something different. If you notice, it's all situated like this within just 3 cones, and this is perfect for learning your tight turns, your U-turns, your figure eights, your S-turns, your head movements, friction zone, body weight. See, these are all things that I already know, and you probably know, but you just want to get to it. So here's the thing. We're going to go through the right cones, left cones, circle, these cones, end up back here. Pretty simple. I'm going to show it to you nice and easy, nice and slow.
This is a fun exercise to do.
Go ahead and get used to the actual function of all of these things. Now right here, nice, huge, or short.
That practice your U-turn,
Look for the next ones.
head movement,
Look for the end.
head movement, and handlebar movement right there.
Now, it's just friction zone. I was in first gear. I was just letting the bike do its thing. If you are brand new, just do it nice and easy. Have fun with it. Don't think about time. But if you're getting a little bored, you're like, this is too easy, go ahead and time yourself. If you time yourself, let me know in the comments. All right, so we're gonna pick it up a little bit. So I can go between cones. I'm really gonna dance. I'm looking where I need to go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and slow it down on this turn so I can make it nice and short, so I'm not going wide. Pick up speed, pick up speed, pick up speed.
So that right there, if we take a look at this movement, let's go to the actual diagram. Now, that's the cool thing about doing this live, is that I can show you guys what it is that you need to really focus on. So we have the diagram right here. Let's see if I can go back a little bit more. So this is the diagram. This is the bootlace Moto Gymkhana thing. But here's the thing, is you could do this on a bicycle. So if you don't have a motorcycle yet, take your bicycle and set up your cones this way. So if you notice, we have this kind of section here, this gate right here, this gate right here, this gate right here, and right here. Take a look at where they are situated on the parking lot. Okay, so these right here, this parking lot space is roughly 8 to 8.5 feet. So 8 to 8.5 feet. So if you take a look at this, these cones are about 8 to 8.5 feet, and then you have this cone in the center. So what you want to do is set up the cones like this. So you see the arrows. This is all on ddfandcrew.com, but I will be posting more on motorcycle training concepts. Is that you go left, you go right, you go to circle, then you go, and you just keep doing it. So if you have a buddy, they can actually be they can actually be waiting right there. So when you go in, they're watching you, and then when they exit, you go next. So it's a constant. This right here is great, because on this part, that is basically a tight turn, actually right there. So that's basically a tight turn from a stop. You know, maybe a tight turn from a little bit of movement. But then right here, you have to change the direction and go in here. If you notice something, this almost looks like a U-turn. This almost looks like a U-turn. This almost looks like a U-turn with an extra. It's a 270, basically a 360. Another U-turn, and you have to get in. So you're practicing your U-turns, your tight turns. You're practicing all these different things, and it's fun to do so. So go ahead and take this practice.
Your U-turns, your figure eights, your S-turns, your head movements, friction zone, body weight. See, these are all things that I already know, and you probably know, but you just want to get to it. So
and this is what it looks like right there. You can easily set this up, and it's an amazing exercise. I will go ahead and post that in the description. That is going to be our homework. Okay, so we do have homework. Boom, it's already there. Post it in the description. It says never drop your motorcycle again. Tight turn from a stop. So if you're a brand new beginner, please practice that one. If you want to do this one, have a little bit of fun, set it up with some friends, but just realize you're actually practicing. So that was an amazing exercise. We had a great 99 Lives video review. And now we're going to go ahead and go into my office. Let's go ahead and go onto here. Let's go ahead and have some fun. Water bottle, soda cans, or anything you do if you do not have cones. Cope, exactly. Go ahead and do that. It's a great Great little tidbit of information. All right, let's go ahead and go over here. Whoa. Oh, the chat. Forgot. The chat died. That's the old chat. Let's go over here. So when it comes to those exercises, do you have any questions? Any questions? Because that's the cool thing about this class. Let's go ahead and the Q&A chat's all dead. And let's do that. Boom. There it is. If you have any questions about those exercises, how to set them up, what to do. I mean, I'm already about to say, you know, if you don't have cones, what do you do? But Cope already talked about that. So what I like to do is I actually have tennis balls. I cut those tennis balls in half with a box cutter. Be very careful when you do that. So I cut those tennis balls in half, and they're very highly green, fluorescent looking, you know, neon, and it's easy to see. If you run them over, it's not a big deal. But yeah, water bottles work great. Soda cans, they work great. Been riding 54 years, and I do these types of exercises all the time to keep my skills up. Bruce, yeah. Awesome. Do you just begin in an empty parking lot, or is it best to try to get permission first? Cecil, that's up to you. I do have areas within my neighborhood that is like a dead end, and I'll just do U-turns. I'll just go in, do a couple U-turns, 5 to the right, 5 to the left, boom, done, got it, feel good. I usually find just areas that have like no traffic, neighborhoods that have no housing yet. That's a good area, especially in a dead end. But when it comes to parking lots, what you can do is find churches on the weekdays and then schools on the weekends. Those are typically the better places to find. I would always ask for permission first if you could, but if you don't, then and they tell you to leave, then just leave. Yeah, you don't want to fight. You don't want to do any of that stuff. So, because it is their property. Participated in Gymkhana a few weeks ago. It was fun. Jim, that's amazing. Would you use red cones for the turning point? It's up to you, Damon, as long as you know the route. So the route is pretty easy to follow if you've done it a few times. So the route's pretty easy to follow. So as long as you have this diagram, which is on ddfmcrew.com, but if you still need it, just check out the video, okay? I have that video on motorcycle training concepts. It's how to set up a motorcycle training course. This right here. There's actually a second one that I have on here. And I actually really like this one too. This one's a really good one. So if you go to that video and you do this one, go ahead and practice this one too if you really wanted to. This one's a really fun one too. This is going to practice your straight line, slow straight line, and then you have to do a U-turn, U-turn, and then you have to do a straight line weave and a big U-turn, straight line weave. So it's actually really fun. Let's go ahead and let's go here. Just got myself a situation a week ago watching your video, saved my bike, possibly my life. Cody, I'm glad, man. Woo! I'm happy that you're doing well. Okay. I was surprisingly able to successfully pass this. Harley Davidson. Ooh, good. I guess the word, yeah, you get run off. Can or should this be practiced with a passenger? Randy, it can. Yeah, if you're gonna be riding around with a passenger, go ahead and practice it with a passenger. Everything you do in the parking lot, you could do with a passenger if you want to increase your skill that way. Definitely. If someone shoos you away from parking lot, just say sorry, move to another spot. Exactly, Xavier. That's all. Found a parking lot and they're used for motorcycle range. Already had the lollipop painted. Good, Jim. Those are fun. The lollipops are fun. That's basically that straight line, and it's a circle, and it goes back into that straight line. That's a good exercise. When are you? Hi Dan. When are you gonna do practices for intermediate riders, trail braking and stuff? So trail braking, it's kind of hard to do in a parking lot and demonstrate it over the internet. So trail braking, the advanced, I believe those are advanced skills. So the advanced skill of trail braking, and then speed shifting and all those other things, I believe it's not needed for what I'm trying to teach. So I'm trying to teach beginner riders just to commute safely and how to be safe and then be good citizens and be good community members. The speed shifting, trail braking, all those things, they can be used for that purpose, but it's something that I believe you should be taught in person with an instructor right there with their hands, hands-on training. I don't think that's something you should learn over the internet unless you can really put everything together and you've mastered some of these basic beginner fundamental skills. But in order for me to say, hey, go do this, I know a lot of people on this channel, a lot of my viewers, a lot of the students here will say, okay, well, I've had a week of watching Dan the Fireman. I'm going to go ahead and practice trail braking. I'm going to practice speed shifting. And I don't think that they're there yet. It took me a while to really hammer down those fundamental skills and then take an advanced class to learn it and then to really understand it with instructor training right there. So when I'm in that position, I know a lot of my viewers are in that same position. A lot of the students here are in the same position. I think that they would need that class in person. So it would be very bad for me to say, you know what, just for the video, I want to make a video on trail braking. Here you go. That's me though. So right here at Jim Sweet, MC Writer's a video on trail braking practice in a lot. I say go to him and get your trail braking video for that. I just choose not to do it. So, and that's because of my skill level. So we talk about scope of practice and skill level. I believe where I'm at with my skill level and the production of this class and where we're at and the focus I have, I don't have the focus of wanting to do trail braking, so I haven't done it. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. There are plenty of people that explain trail braking. Brett T-Tax here. You know what? Trail braking, he explained it the best way. He explained it the best way. You know what? We're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. He explained it so well that I made a comment when he did it, and I was like, wow. Amazing, amazing coach. So I'm not going to spend the whole time on it. In fact, I'm just going to share with you his video. I'm okay with saying I don't know something. And when I know of somebody that can do it. Let's see. So Brett. Wait, no, let's do trail braking video. This guy knows his stuff, and the way he describes it.
We all start off, everybody a big smile, big thumbs up, and how many of you ever used your brakes in the corner and are here to talk about it today?
Anybody seen this video? Great stuff.
Absolutely.
Great stuff.
Turns out that we brake into corners naturally. I'm going to define what trail braking is. If you go into the corner,
I'm not going to watch the whole video with you guys. I want you guys to actually go here and watch his stuff.
And then you go for the brakes because you miscalculated the corner, that is called oh shit braking. That is not trail braking. If you're dragging your rear brake into a corner, that is also not necessarily trail braking. Trail braking is a planned, deliberate deceleration past the turn point.
That right there is very important. You can't just go into a corner and say, hey, you know, I went too fast. Let me apply some brakes and call that trail braking. That's not trail braking. So when I say I don't feel comfortable to tell a beginner rider when, how, where without the hands-on training, it's because they will assume this is trail braking of applying the brakes mid-corner and wonder why they dumped the bike. I don't feel comfortable enough to showcase that on the internet. He's in front of a class, just so happens to record it and put it on his channel. He's in an actual track class.
Front brake, both brakes.
Yeah, I'll send the link to you guys right now.
Can be rolling off the throttle. Trail braking is deliberately decelerating or still scrubbing speed as we tip into the corner. Now we have to have a turn point to make that happen. A turn point requires an exit.
All right, so that's basics of corners. Right here, I just want to showcase this. I want you guys to watch this video. I'm not going to watch the whole thing because he explains it way better than I can. So the turn in, on throttle, delayed apex, there's the road apex, imagined delayed apex. That's that blind corner. We talk about blind corners all the time.
Talking about apex, entry, and exit came from the racing world.
Came from the racing world. Are we here to race? I don't like this. That's why I say I don't like inside or outside, inside, outside. I don't like that. It came from the racing world. A lot of good things have come from the racing world. Airbag vests, really powerful machines, fun machines to play on. But is the commuting world talking about road apexes? No, they're not. The commuting world is talking about getting from point A to point B as safe as possible.
You're on a dedicated environment. Everybody knows what's on the other side. If something goes wrong on the other side, there's somebody there waving a flag to tell you there's something to watch out for. On the street, we don't get that.
So he goes over how trail braking is very good for the street because of that reason. Because we don't know. So already having that trail braking, already having the braking in, it's going to put that weight on that front tire, give it traction so you can stop if you have to. Like I said, I'm not going to go over this whole video. He's an amazing coach. Honestly, if I could take a class from him, I would. Like, I wish he was around here. So he talks about trail braking the whole time. He talks about, you know, everything. It's a 9 to 10 minute video. It's 9.5 minutes. Amazing stuff. Okay. Talks about trail braking, talks about traction. 70 plus 70 equals 100. So he actually kind of he talks a little bit differently about how I say the cup is full. You can't overfill the cup. 70 plus 70 equals 140. No, it's 70 plus 70 equals 100. Utilize all of it. So he's talking about the side forces, turning, acceleration, deceleration. Okay, so what do we talk about when it comes to traction? You got acceleration, braking is deceleration. You're turning left or right. Okay, so turning, acceleration, braking, boom, right there. That talks about traction. He explains it really well. Here's that rear tire losing some of the weight. So that white part is the loss of traction. The red part is actually utilizing the traction. So he talks about it the whole time. So suspension, anti-squat, geometry. He talks about all these things. Amazing, amazing coach. Amazing coach. Check him out. The link was in the description or in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and post it in the description real quick. I think it's a great video for homework. So let's see. Trail braking. So I'll go ahead and post that back in the chat. The Vidam, hopefully I said that right. Go ahead and message me. Message me on Discord. We'll see if we can get over that. We could talk about it. But that was a great video to watch. So that's kind of back to what I was trying to get at, is that I don't think I could teach trail braking to a student with what I have right now. So I'm not going to do it. There's definitely people out there that I feel like will gladly take the responsibility of that. Yeah, that's Kilray. That's another thing, is a lot of people in the beginner classes hear about trailing that rear tire, that real brake. So you're applying a little bit of that. You're trailing it. So to say go trail braking, a lot of people use that rear brake. So they learn all these different things, and I think it's a big issue. I think it's a big issue. So I don't feel like I'm comfortable enough to teach that. Burka FL, quick question. Can you explain countersteering? Oh, can I explain countersteering? It's kind of hard to explain. There's a lot of physics involved. You basically push left to go left, push right to go right. It basically, what happens is that when you push the handlebars on the left side, so you're actually pushing it, not push down, but kind of pushing it. What's happening is that front tire starts to turn, and it's that cup of the tire, the way it's shaped when you press, it's actually making it to where it wants to turn in that way. The best way I can describe it is if you get a styrofoam cup. So one end of the styrofoam cup is wide, the other end is kind of small, and you roll it, it's going to roll in circles. But if you sit that styrofoam cup to where it's on that big end, that big side, and it's flat, and you try to roll it, it's going to roll straight. So that's what's happening to your tire, is that instead of being up like this, it goes down like this when you press in for countersteering, so it wants to turn. It's the same cup, same tire, it's just the shape of the cup, the shape of the tire. When you put it on that edge, it's going to make it turn. There's a lot of things. There's gyroscopic forces. And there's even people saying that pushing left doesn't do anything. You're definitely going to want to look that up in the physics part. But having to describe the physics part of it, I mean, I don't think that's stuff you really need to know when you're out on the road. What you need to know is that if you press left at a certain speed, 15 to 20 miles an hour, it's going to start to turn the bike in because of the shape of the tires. That's really all you need to know. how, why, all those things, it's not really needed. Countersteering is not a death wish. I mean, you have to do that at speeds. So basically, trail braking is a coordinated brake for the best runtime and road apex without dumping the bike. So Cody, for the track, that's part of it. When you have your suspension, when you're trail braking, what you're doing is you're putting weight on that front tire so that you can turn in and you have more traction. You can turn in easier and quicker. So out on a track, it's really good to get trail braking in because you're able to turn in and utilize a lot of traction on that front tire. So for commuting, what does trail braking do for you? It does the same thing. It puts a lot of that weight on that front tire. Not a lot of the weight. It puts a lot of that traction on the front tire. So when you're in the middle of a turn, you have more traction. So for commuting, that helps out with gravel. It helps out with having to brake in a turn just in case something happens because you already have that weight on the front tire. Since you already have that weight on the front tire, you can stand at the bike and apply more and more progressive brake pressure, and it's going to start slowing down even further. So you're basically getting prepped and ready for anything in a corner. That is what trail braking is good for out on the road. There's more reasons to do trail braking, obviously, when you're out on a track, but out on the road, it's mainly to prep yourself to brake in a corner and give you more stability while going through the corner. So that's good. Nudging it better. Okay. How can you test your skills and know how good you are without advanced rider? So Jesse, if you can master and feel confident, when I say master, it's like, well, what does master mean? So this is where I go through the process, and this is what I love. We're at the end of the class, we're discussing some things. So how do you know when you can go up to more advanced skills and practice more advanced skills? It really comes down to automaticity. So what that is you developing habits to where your body does what you intended to do without thinking. Okay, so walking. Everyone here started off crawling. Everyone here started off trying to walk stable, but sucking at it and falling down. And now we're all walking where we don't even have to think about what's the first step, second step, third step, fourth step. Okay, we don't have to do that. Okay, I got the link right here. For some reason, the quote. Scarlett, can you just send me that link? For some reason, I can't click. Oh, never mind. There it is. Never mind. Let me go ahead and just pause it. Let me get back to that question. So the automaticity part of it is that we're walking. We don't think about walking. So now we have mastered that skill, and now we can try running. Okay, running was very difficult at first, and then we start running. We can really get the hang of it. Boom, we got it. So now we can practice long jump, all these. So you start going down these other processes. So when it comes to riding a motorcycle, what you want to do is go to a parking lot, and you'll notice you're looking at your hands. You're looking like right in front of the wheel. You're looking like, what do I do? Okay, clutch, okay, shift, okay, brake. You're doing this with your hands and your feet. You want to get to the point where you're just looking forward and doing everything. Obviously, you don't do this. It's not a keyboard. But you're doing everything without looking at it. That is automaticity. You develop the habit to where you don't have to focus on that. And the big problem a lot of people have is that they develop these habits that are bad. So this is why you want to make sure you take a class or watch this class. Go to Motorcycle Training Concepts and go through the whole how to ride a sport bike. I have a whole series on that. And that way you can develop and start those habits that are good and then get to a point where it's automatic. So when you get to automatic and you're doing U-turns without having to look down, look at this, and you're always constantly remembering to turn that head, you're always doing this, and you're getting better and better and better and better and better, then I believe you can get into more of the advanced skills. So it's like, man, the parking lot's pretty easy. I'm always doing my head turns. I know when I turn, I do my head, and I always do this. I make sure I have good friction throttle control. It's like, okay, now what do I do? So then take an advanced class. I mean, there's some advanced riding clinics out there. And then now you're going to do a whole new thing that you're going to be looking at your hands. You're going to be like, man, what do I do? What do I do? It's because you're learning a new skill. So if you're ever in a position where you are looking at your hands and seeing what they're doing, that is a new skill that hasn't been developed into a habit. And if you're doing that with a U-turn, you're not ready for an intermediate or advanced skills. So get those fundamental skills of U-turns, figure eights, the bootlace exercise that we have for homework. If you can do that automatically, then I think you're ready for that second intermediate, or advanced skill. So that, I believe, is how. I don't want to say, yeah, you've done 10, U-turns, 20 figure eights, you're good. Go ahead and do an advanced skill like trail braking. I don't want to get to that point. I want you to get to the point where you have automaticity, muscle memory cope, exactly. You get to that point to where you're not looking at your hands, and now you have all the room in the world to think while doing automatic stuff. You're probably already doing it in your car. You're sitting back relaxed, and you're just kind of driving. You push these buttons without looking, turn knobs without looking. You see what I mean? Do that when you're on a motorcycle. Bruce, learning to countersteer could save your life. If you find yourself in a corner a tad too fast, more countersteer will force the bike to fall further and tighten up the turn. Yeah, it can save your life. Yeah, it definitely can. You're countersteering already, guys. When you're out riding, you're already countersteering without even noticing it. Okay, we're just putting a name to it. If you think if I could just put more and more because I went too fast, it's going to save you, it can and it can't. So you're going to have a chance of now a low side because you put too much turning for that traction. So that's when you start getting into more advanced skills and get more body positioning. Well, it's like, why do I have to learn an advanced skill for body positioning if I could just counter steer and all that stuff? It's because you're going too fast. If you're going too fast, you have to do something to make up that failure. So you have to make up that failure with a better skill than just counter steering. So if you just don't go so fast, you don't have to worry about body positioning. You don't have to worry about getting deep down in there. You could just do normal counter steering. So my recommendation for all these things is literally just to take it nice and easy so you don't need those advanced skills. But if you want to go faster, hey, that's perfectly fine. It's not my life. It's not my situation. If you want to, here's the thing. Take an advanced skill so you stay safe. That's all I care about is if you guys stay safe, but realize where you're at in terms of your skill level, risk, everything. I want you to be aware of that stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this video. So I don't think there's any audio. All right. Big area. You said you got pushed out into the second lane. Oh. So GTA. So what happened here? The Vald. Go, you can write it in the chat. Let me know what happened there. That is a nice view. Let's see. When I'm riding on bumpy asphalt, it always messes up my throttle control, even when I'm relaxed on the hand grips. What should I do? You're gripping that hand grip really hard. What I would do is just try this. See if this works. Go ahead and lift your butt off the seat and kind of suspend a lot of that weight with your hamstrings and your quads, like it's a suspension, and try to dodge as many of those bumps as possible. Try the feet up part because that's going to put a lot of that bump into the foot. So you're not doing this. It's kind of just doing this. You see how like my hand is still, but I'm bouncing? That's what hopefully it's going to do to you. As an instructor, I'm tough on death check, shoulder blind spot check. Damon, exactly. Those are good. Those are very good. Those are things that I think you should know. Could you do a tutorial on adjusting sag on your motorcycle since that could impact riding Fireflight? I could. A lot of people don't have adjustable suspension though. But it's becoming more common, so maybe I need to make a video. When I first started doing this, it wasn't very common. You had to get like really expensive bikes to do that. Hit a couple bumps and it threw me off and it didn't concentrate. Okay, so a couple bumps. You hit a couple bumps. There's the bump. So middle of a turn, couple bumps. And it kind of threw you off and you got close to that. Now here's the thing. You did really well. Did absolutely well. So one thing that you can realize, and this is something that happened to me in Phoenix. We're on a bridge. So the bridges will indicate there's that transition from pavement to the bridge and there's that bump that usually happens there. So in Phoenix, we have these big interchanges and there's always like the concrete slab bumps and it's usually in a turn. So one time I hit a bump and I was in the middle of a turn and got launched and I was like over here. Very scary. So be aware of that. Try to go over the bumps as easy as possible. Lift that butt up if you can. It's the same thing with the bumps in the road and accidentally give it a little bit too much throttle. So same thing, lift that butt up. So that's going to make it to where a lot of that forces that rear tire hit, it's going to go into your legs, not your back, which will push your handlebars. So lift your butt up a little bit, kind of lean into it, but you did a good job. There's not much, honestly, there's not much that you could have done differently. It's pretty scary. I guess the only other thing that you could have done is if you know it's a right-handed turn and there's going to be bumps in the turn, let's say that. So get off on the inside. So stay on the inside. So if you hit a bump, it's going to make you go a little bit wide, make you go a little bit wide, make you go a little bit wide. That way you don't go into the next lane. There's not much you could do. And this is one of those situations where, you know, the road engineers didn't really think about motorcyclists. Prodigal Stranger. Oh, there's no returns because of COVID. That's ridiculous, Prodigal. I'm gonna see if I can find somebody else then, because that's ridiculous. You should be able to. I don't know, man. I don't. Could you find it a good home? I mean, I could try if you want to send it. If you want to send it, what size is it? When did the trolls arrive? I don't know. Is there trolls here? As a returning biker, I get light cramps in my wrists, inner thighs, and lower back after riding. Is it normal? Quite possibly. I get that too, and it's flexibility. Your flexibility is not as good. I get that because my flexibility is not as good. So the inner thighs, those are your hip flexors. So you have that tendon that goes all the way down, and lower back, same thing. Your lower back is a little tight. So your erector spinae, the big muscles that go to the top of your neck, basically down to your spine, all the way to your coccyx, which is your tailbone. Those are probably really tight. So good flexibility. The inner thighs, same thing. So you probably have really strong legs. I think that might be your problem. So you have a really strong legs and weak core. And then the cramps in the wrists, that could be from gripping the throttle a little bit too hard. I know I used to get that all the time. And what I would do is actually strengthen your core, not necessarily stretch. So do some more planks. That might help you out with your inner thigh and lower back. What's up, Mark? How you doing? Is it Dan? It's good to have the skills to do them if you need them. Yeah, exactly. If you ride a bicycle already and you counter steer without thinking, yeah. So those exercises that we went over, you could do on a bicycle, everybody. So let's go ahead and go back to that. This right here you can do on a bicycle. So if you don't have a motorcycle yet, go ahead and take your bicycle through something like this. And if you're on a motorcycle and you practice this and you're like, man, these cones are these right here are too close to each other. Like this one and this one's too close. I can't do it. Well, just go ahead and push it out. So put this cone on that next spot, put this cone where this cone is, and just keep doing that. You don't have to have them so close. So constantly adjust these things. Implicit differentiator. Side of the vehicle, baby. Side of the vehicle. Men's black, size large. Okay. Hey, man, if you want to send it, go ahead and send it. I do got the P.O. box. Oh, XL. Yeah, we'll see what we could do. We'll see what we could do over here. Guys, I wanted to have a nice class. We're going to be doing this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So this weekend, tomorrow, while everybody's watching football, or even today, I'm going to be going over what the curriculum is. I can't wait to do it, but we're going to be having them more often. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm thinking around 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to be consistent with it. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, you'll see last week's videos pop up those days. Send me your parking lot practice, because at the beginning, so take a look at this. So at the beginning, we were having this going on, okay? That chat's dead right there. We were having this go on, and if you want your stuff to be put in the beginning, if you want your parking lot practice to be part of the intro, send it to me. So go ahead and upload it to your own channel, and just, whatever practice you're doing, U-turns, figure eights, this stuff right here. This right here, we're practicing U-turns, but you can also turn that into a figure eight. We were doing that, having a great time, and I want to showcase some of your guys' training. So if you're going to go out and you're going to practice this right here, go ahead, practice it, put a camera up, upload it to YouTube, send me the link through the submission form, and we will put that during the intro of the training. We definitely will. So I want to see your guys' training. I want to see what you guys are doing. I want you guys to have a great time doing it, but I want to make sure that you get the recognition for all the hard work you guys are doing too. Remember, guys, this is the DDFM crew. This is the crew. Okay. Yeah, Dave Moss has great stuff. This is a DDFM crew. We're a community of people that want to make sure everyone here is safe. And this is amazing. I think this is a great step. We got a class going. Whew. First time riding on a highway today, almost crashed into a learner driver that moved from the middle lane across my lane to take the exit at last second. I panic braked. It was not fun. Evelyn, hopefully you're doing fine. But now that you know what happened, right? So coming up to an intersection, or not intersection, coming up to an off-ramp, be kind of aware. Like, that's one of the only times, you know, a path to travel violation really happens on the interstate. Interstates are pretty safe. You know, there's no cross traffic. There's only traffic going one direction. Everybody's going a certain speed. You know, nobody's making very sharp movements except for something like that. So where do those sharp movements typically happen? It's going to be those off ramps and on ramps. So whenever I see an off ramp or an on ramp coming up on the interstate, I go into orange stage. Whenever I am near another vehicle, you know, side by side, we're not staggered too much, I'm in orange stage. So now, whenever you're coming up to an off ramp, think about what happened to you and maybe set yourself up to where if that person did that, that they're not going to hit me and they're just going to go across. So we're kind of staggered. So that right there is an after action review based off of the text that you have. I'm just happy that you're here to type it. You know what I mean? So it's really awesome. Thank you for the story. It was not fun, but you learned something, I bet. And it sucks that it had to happen on the first time riding on the highway. Oh, it's like, if anything, please happen on the 20th time. Practice video will be next spring. Winter is started here in Quebec, Canada. Hey, Mark, if you have any older videos, send them. We'll showcase it. Practice. Yeah, I looked at sport touring. Boom, boom. Scarlett. You. How you doing, Scarlett? Doing good. Everything good. I got a notification from the year in review on YouTube, and the DDFM crew raised over $12,000 for charity this year. Let's see if I could find it again. I want you guys to. Let's see. Oh, geez, you can't see it. $12,638.46 for charity. You guys are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've responded to 3,200 comments. 121,396 new subscribers this year. You guys are absolutely insane. I'll share more of these things. I'll probably share them on my Twitter and Instagram. All those links are in the description. But man, the crew has done an amazing job. And that was just for that. We raised over something for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. So we raised money for the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. We raised money for Code Green. We raised money for ACFF. That is the Arizona AFC, Arizona Foster Children. We raised money for quite a bit. We were doing crazy. 846,000 likes on the channel. Whew. All right. Riding with the passenger. Is there anything I have change as the rider, or is it basically taking everything slower? I know I have to tell the passenger everything in the rules, but anything specific. So I would tell the passenger, Cody, I would tell them, well, first cope. The Fat Bub 114, good for 6'2", 220. Yeah. If it's for a beginner, that's a fast bike. It's a fast bike. So is there anything you should do for a passenger? Is everything slower? So it's not just slower. It's smoother. You can be fast with your movements. You just got to be smooth. You can't be jerky. It has to be smooth. Okay, so smooth throttle, smooth braking, smooth clutch work, smooth friction zone, all that stuff. When it comes to, is there anything specific about rules? My biggest thing is they don't get on the motorcycle until I say so. They don't get off the motorcycle until I say so. The rest of the stuff can like the where they lean, how they lean. I guess you could tell them just to sit still, don't lean with you, but that stuff will kind of fix itself. The getting on and off can really surprise you. So if you're kind of getting set up, you're on the bike, you're getting set up, and all of a sudden they just hop on, it could really jostle you if you're not ready, and you could dump the bike with your passengers. Same thing with getting off the bike. So if anything, I would say, hey, don't get on until I say so, and then you tell them, hey, all right, go ahead and get on, and then say, don't get off until I say so. So now you have your feet planted. You're like, all right, go ahead and hop off. You know, stuff like that. I like to have them get off the bike before I park it, because I like to back in. Yeah, Scarlett, same here. Body's still in morning mode. Maybe mornings aren't the best for me. I think 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time would be better for me. Still, I'm drinking my coffee. You know, whew. I want to say thank you to Speed Limit, man. You need to stop donating. You're constantly donating. Thank you so much, though. I do appreciate it. Guys, if you would like to become a member, please do so. Click that join button. But guys, I'm going to get going. I want you guys to join the free Discord. I got stuff to do. I got classes to set up. This video will probably go up next week, but make sure you join the Discord. So this is the crew lounge right here. So only crew members get access to this. Let's see. Let's do the Carlton. Yeah. Join the Discord. Nectar, how you doing? The razor, I use Dollar Shave Club razors. I need a sponsorship from Dollar Shave Club. Speed limit. You're insane. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Link to the Discord is right there. Click it in the chat. Thank you, Speed Limit. Guys, I want to be your online motorcycle coach. We'll be doing this 3 days a week. I had a lot of fun. I'll get more energy if we do it in the afternoons. I know that. Scar.